All right, Nick, let's talk about the LSU Tigers. Big, big recruiting news for the Tigers here. I think it's probably the biggest possible recruit they could have gotten, and they absolutely killed it here. Let's get into the article, and we'll talk about this one on the other side. It's from Bleacher Report. It says five-star running back Harlem Barry isn't leaving his home state, with the Louisiana native committing to LSU on Wednesday. He said it's a great feeling just being a stay-at-home kid, a state hero, I guess you could say, and having my family close to home and everything, he said to ESPN's Blake Baumgartner. Barry is the top-ranked running back and number 16 overall player in 24/7 Sports composite rankings for the 2025 class, Nick. Five-star, number one running back, number one player in the state of Louisiana. How much bigger could you win your home state in the recruiting battle than getting a guy like this? You always say, we say this all the time, gotta win your home state. Getting the number one player in the state of Louisiana for 2025 class, that's definitely winning your home state. Getting the number one running back in the country, that's definitely winning nationally. And getting a five-star player is always good for recruiting. I think this is just overall a multifaceted win for the LSU Tigers. Curious what your thoughts are on this one, though, Nick. But LSU fans, let us know in the comment section below. If this isn't the biggest recruiting win in a while for LSU, let us know in the comments below who has been the biggest recruiting win for the Tigers. Let us know in the comment section below. But, Nick, what do you think about the commitment of Harlem Barry, the number one running back, to the Tigers?
So here's how it normally works in terms of not running back commitments, I should say any top prospect commitments, especially early in the cycle. Remember, this is a 2025 kid, right? We just are wrapping up the 2024 cycle in a few short weeks. So normally how it works, it's the big name at the huge programs, right? The guy who plays at the 8A school in Texas or 5A in Florida or 6A in California or 6A in Louisiana. Those guys are usually number one guys just because they have so much visibility, right? Everyone gets to see them all the time. Big schools, maybe they're on one of those ESPN showcases or something like that. But here's the interesting thing with Harlem Barrett. He plays for a 1A Louisiana school. That is really, really small, obviously. 1A being, I believe it's the smallest. There could be one smaller potentially. I know in Florida, they got an AB classification. If anyone in the comment section wants to correct me, feel free, go ahead. But I believe no matter what, it is a very small classification. It is unusual for any recruit from a small school like this to be ranked so highly. Because if a recruiting organization like 24/7 Sports or On3 or whatever, Rivals, whatever, pick whichever one, ESPN, and they pick a guy from a really small school, those guys tend to potentially be very variable in terms of how good they turn out, unless they are can't miss. And I think the fact that Harlem Barry is ranked as highly as he is early in the process from a small school in Louisiana tells me that this is a can't miss kind of player. He has elite speed, elite ball carrying talent, game breaking athleticism to the point where his competition doesn't even matter in high school. He will immediately be an impact player for whoever he plays with at the next level. Obviously, now that he's committed to LSU, it should be the Tigers, barring something unforeseen. That's what really jumps out at me with this commitment. Again, we never see early in the process a small school prospect ranked this high unless they are literally a can't miss, unless they're a Leonard Fournette, right? They're that kind of, obviously stylistically very different than Fournette, but that kind of player, what they see this kid becoming. And I think that's obviously a great sign for LSU if they can secure a commitment from a prospect that looks like he has a chance to be a generational running back.
Yeah, Nick, and this guy's an absolute beast. He ran a 10.5 700-meter dash in the state championship match. Absolutely blazing speed-wise. He's great at the long jumps. He's great at a lot of things. Let me hit you with this. His freshman year, they call it a breakout campaign, but if it's your freshman year, I mean, I don't know how big you could break out. You just got onto the scene. 2,000 rushing yards and 30 touchdowns in his freshman season. This guy is absolutely ridiculous. He's putting up huge numbers, obviously against probably a little bit lesser competition, but we say when you play lesser competition, you got to dominate, and I would say that is probably about as dominant as you could get for a running back in this classification. So this guy, absolute beast, Nick. I think that he is going to be a huge can't miss prospect, as you said. for the LSU Tigers. And this guy is going to be a big time asset for this team. Like you said, Leonard Fournette, that's a name that comes to mind just talking about big time running backs coming to LSU and how valuable they've been to this program. This guy could be the next big thing, the next piece of the cog to propel them back into national title hopes. So I really think the Harlem Barry commitment is the first in a line of potentially a long line of big time recruitment gets for the LSU Tigers this year.
And there's one more thing I want to hit on. Again, the fact that he comes from a small school. I love some of these school recruits because I was a small school guy, right? These guys all go at the next level and like going to college and they have a chip on their shoulder, right? Because everyone knows, right? Oh, you played in front of 200 people in high school. I played in front of 20,000. How good are you really, right? Oh, you ran for 30 touchdowns your freshman year. Oh, great. You did it against Little Sisters of the Poor high school. Oh, you're so great. That just puts a chip on the shoulder of these guys. And I look for this guy, Harlem Barry. Obviously, he's got all the physical tools in the world, but the fact that he's going to have a chip on his shoulder most likely makes him set up to have a big time early impact in his LSU Tigers career. So I agree with you, Miles, 100%. This is a huge get for LSU, and it's just another cog in the machine as they work themselves back into becoming a national title contender again.